Psalms 16:8. David said, I have set the Lord before me. That's a good thing to do. Psalm 16:8. I've set the Lord before me. So he could not be confused about it. He wanted to be conscious of His presence. So David said, I have set the Lord always before my face. Now I, David, have set the Lord before my face. Always to be conscious of God's presence. Wouldn't that be a good lesson for all of us tonight? Amen. Set the Lord before a face so we'll be conscious of His presence. Put Him first. Why? Put Him first before you. Why? Then you won't sin when you are realizing that constantly you're in the presence of God. When you realize God's around, you watch what you say. A man, when he thinks God's gone, he'll cuss, he'll lust after women, he'll steal, cheat, lie, he'll do anything when he thinks that God don't see him. But bring him into the presence of God, you'll stop it right now. Always put the Lord before you. And don't you do nothing that you wouldn't do in His presence. Because He's watching over you. See, the Lord is encamped about those who fear Him. He just stays right near you. And He knows everything you're doing, and you must recognize that. When you start to tell a lie, don't do it. Remember, God's listening at you. If you start to do a little cheat, don't you do it. God's looking at you. If you start to take His name in vain, don't do it. God's listening at you. Start smoking a cigarette, He's watching you. See? We used to sing a song, all along on the road to the soul's true abode, there's an eye watching you. Every step that you take, this great eye is awake, there's an eye watching you. Remember, do like David. Put the Lord always before your face. Then your heart will rejoice, and your flesh shall rest in hope. For He promised it. Yes, sir. He knows all things. He knows your heart. And you know what you're thinking. He does too. If there's a little sin hanging on you tonight, you wouldn't want to go in the presence of God with that on you, would you once more raise up your hand and say, Brother Branham, pray for me. I want to be in His presence at that day, guiltless. God bless you. Many hands. God sees it. In His presence. Now I'll tell you what you do. Just listen closely. Do like David did. Put the Lord before you right now. Put the Lord between you and that sin. Whatever that little besetting sin is. It might be lying. It might be stealing. It might be evil thinking. It might be temper. It might be drinking. It might be smoking. It might be gambling. I don't know what it is. It might be lust. It might be anything. I don't know what it is. Whatever it is, put the Lord before you. And then your heart will rejoice, and your flesh shall rest in hope. For you know that Christ promised He'd raise up again in the last days. When He comes forth, we'll come in His likeness. Won't you do it now while we pray?